Tearaway clothing. This was not a project that I anticipated doing this year, but here we are. I'm in a creativity and innovation class at my university. People in this program that are in these classes go above and beyond for presentations and projects, and recently we were assigned a presentation that's worth 20% of our grade. I decided to do quick changes while presenting, so this video follows the process of making those clothes and prepping for the presentation. Thank you for being here. Let's get right into it. Our story starts 1 week before the day of the presentation. I just had a meeting with my professor outlining a presentation that I'm doing a week from today. My final thesis question that I'm covering in my presentation is, does what we wear affect our productivity? And I'm highlighting 3 different studies that were done for kind of the body of my presentation. As I was talking to my professor today in this meeting, we were kind of coming up with ideas of how we can make this presentation more interesting, or as he likes to say, epic. He mentioned one idea, which was to add clothing as I'm doing my presentation to change from casual to business formal, yada, yada, yada. And then I laughed and I said, oh my goodness, like tearaway pants, like quick change performances. And he was like, no. Because, yeah, can you imagine being in a presentation and somebody all of a sudden tries to do like a quick change, but like the snaps won't work? Like that would be so awkward. And I'm already kind of an awkward and anxious person in class. So I think he's trying to save me from this idea, but I want to incorporate quick changes in my presentation, and I think that we can do it. The first step was to find clothing to work with because I didn't have time to make everything from scratch. For the initial layer, I wanted something formal but kind of oversized so that clothes could comfortably fit under it. Manny happened to be wearing this dress that I recently got on sale. Before modifying it, I needed to get some supplies. I just arrived at Hobby Lobby. I watched a few videos on how people make tearaway clothing, and it seems to always be snaps, so we're definitely gonna get some of those, but I might get another option. I just got home from work, so now we can finally evaluate our options. I got this plastic snap tape. I feel like the plastic ones will be easier to rip apart, so I thought I'd get this and try these. Oh, that package opened way more easily than I thought it would. Hey, maybe that's a good sign. I don't want it to be like awkward where I can't get the snaps off. Like I just want it to be super fast. That was my thought in getting this is, okay. Then I just got some regular snaps. Then I got some black thread because I was out. I decided to go with that plastic snap tape for the back of the dress. The dress was cut open down the back with my brand new fabric scissors, which are so smooth. I have never treated a pair of fabric scissors properly, but I think this pair will change me. After this, each side was folded over and sewn to protect the raw edge from fraying. Then I spent some time pinning the snap tape to the dress. I work at an ice cream place, and we're open all year round, even though it's cold outside. Today's Valentine's Day. There was this older couple that came in today, and they were wearing like matching pink sweaters, and they got food and ice cream, and it was just really wholesome. And I think that was the highlight of my day. It was just a beautiful moment. I don't know, it made me so happy. Let's get sewing. So far, I've only sewn each one on one side of the snaps, not the other. I'm gonna test it out like this and see how it works, and then... Anyways. Yeah, see, this is why I'm gonna have to sew at least this side to here, because otherwise it's gonna look like that. And that is not what we want. Okay, I'm gonna put this thing on. Originally, I wanted to pull the dress off from the center for some reason, but as you can see, this did not work. I discovered that starting from the back of the collar is way better. Hey, why is this actually gonna work? Following that test, I added stitches to the other side of each snap tape to secure it. Yes, it looks really sloppy, but I don't really mind. Here's the test after those stitches were added. At that moment, I hadn't thought too much about what I wanted to wear under the dress, but suddenly I had an idea. Wait a second. At the beginning of the presentation, I'm going to be wearing this. I'm going to have pants rolled up under here. If I, right before I do this to pull this off, if I like pull 2 strings in here, that'll release the pants down. I'll have to weigh them down, maybe put like magnets, hem it with magnets in the bottom so that I can just pull a string, the 2 pant legs will release, and then I do that. That would be epic. Good morning, everybody. I need to figure out what pants we're going to be wearing under this dress and the mechanics of that. After my idea last night, we're going to figure out how that's going to go. I've gathered some pants options here. We're going to see if any of these are thin enough and well suited enough to be rolled up under this dress. The first pants that I tried on were these beige dress pants. When rolled up, you can't see them under the dress. However, the material and shape wouldn't easily allow them to fall when prompted to. Option number 2 were these pants from TJ Maxx. The material is really thin, so I don't love these pants. I don't think they're very flattering, but they do bunch nicely and fall easily. Next, I tried these shiny wide leg pants. The pant legs were a bit too wide. There's too much material to fit under the dress. This one was not going to work out. Lastly, these striped pants were thin enough to be bunched up, but the material clung to the tights and the bow was kind of in the way. I went with the blue pants from TJ Maxx. In order to get them to fall properly, the cuffs needed to be weighted. For some reason, the first thing to come to mind was batteries. So I taped up some AA's to the bottom of a pant leg to test it out. Here's how it fell without the batteries. Here's how it fell with that extra weight. Obviously, I was not about to walk into class with batteries taped to my pants. They needed to be concealed and secured. To make this happen, the pants were hemmed with a big enough pocket to hold the batteries. There are 5 on each leg. They're each fastened with a stitch on either side to prevent them from sliding around. Definitely up close, you can see that there are like chunks of something inside of the pants, but from a distance, you can't really tell, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm very shocked with how well this project is going so far. I feel like every time I do something like this, something goes terribly wrong. Some issue takes several hours to work around and then I'm scrambling, but I'm feeling okay right now. I'm looking for Velcro so that we can attach the pants to the dress. Look at that. Wait, look in the reflection. Wow. Okay. Oh no, it's you again. I can never forget those eyes. When I was in 5th grade, we performed that song at one of our elementary school concerts. I really don't know why my music teacher picked that, but it still pops into my head. Anyways, next we needed to attach the pants to the inside of the dress so they wouldn't fall down until the dress is ripped off. This time I tried Velcro. Unfortunately, I only had adhesive Velcro, so my machine had some issues going through it. Okay, no. The needle had to be wiped off and I switched to snap tape. Rows of snap tape were sewn to the front of each pant leg to connect to the snaps on the inside of the dress. These ones were placed in the pocket area so that you couldn't see the stitch. Here is what it looks like on somebody. You can see that there is kind of a dip here, like it looks a little bit weird. Here's what it looks like underneath. There's a ton of extra snaps and there's some extra up here because I had to pull this up more, otherwise you'd be able to see it in the back. All right, here we go. Why did that work so well? Oh my goodness. I did end up adding snaps to the back of the pants. I really didn't want to have to worry about the pants sagging past the bottom of the dress. Here's what that looks like. Time to test this again now that we have snaps in the back as well. Let's see what research has to say about this. Well, study number 1. Okay, I feel like that worked. Because I am presenting research done by 3 studies, I need 2 quick changes. So that's the first one. The second one I'm thinking is going to be much more chill. I think I'm just gonna wear kind of an oversized tee under the dress, so when I take it off, it kind of looks like I'm wearing pajamas because those pants are flowy enough to pass for that. And then for the last one, I'll just rip the shirt off and there'll be kind of a nicer shirt underneath it. So in order to find a shirt for that, I need to find one where the neckline will look normal under the dress. I had a hard time finding a shirt from my own closet to use, but my dad offered me this old t-shirt of his. Once I had that, I had to find something to wear under it for that final quick change. Sweater vest? That could work. We can certainly see it, but it's not bad. Let's check my other sweater vests. I tried 2 others, but the light blue one worked the best. The t-shirt went through a similar procedure as the dress. The back of it was cut open and hemmed. There wasn't enough snap tape left over to cover the whole back, so I split it into 3 different sections, which ended up being a really big mistake. I ripped the shirt. No. This is the only spot on the shirt that actually ripped. I'm gonna seam rip this stuff off. I'm gonna run to Hobby Lobby in the morning and pick up more of this snap tape and sew it on there in the morning. And maybe tonight we just focus on writing the presentation. The seam ripper started to create more holes, so I just cut the center of the snap tape off and mended the edges with some black fabric. The remainder of the evening was spent writing the presentation and making the slides. It's past 1 in the morning. I have not finished the presentation yet, and I don't feel very rehearsed, but we will finish it tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Happy presentation day. I pretty much just woke up, got dressed, and we're about to step into Hobby Lobby and get ourselves some more snap tape so I can finish the shirt. Got what I need. After the snap tape was on the t-shirt, I added fabric glue to some fraying edges, colored the snap tape so it wouldn't be as noticeable, and I emailed my professor to ask if I could go first. I did this for a couple different reasons. One, because I did not want to be sitting the whole class time watching other presentations while wearing layers of clothing, but I also did that because I get really anxious for presentations. I really wanted to be able to enjoy my classmates' presentations, and I was not going to be able to do that if I was going later in the class because I would just be worried for my presentation. You know what I mean? I just finished writing the presentation. I'm gonna load this thing up and we're gonna test out the full ensemble. And how does the outfit compare to those around them? Speaking of which, I kind of feel like I'm a little overdressed today. After that final test, I lint rolled all of the clothing and had several nervous breakdowns, but I will spare you from that footage. On Mondays, I get out of band rehearsal at 6 and then my night class starts at 6:30. So after band, I changed in, thankfully, a single stall bathroom in the music building. I'm in all the layers. I'm about to walk into the building. It is 6:13 right now and the class starts at 6:30. My professor told me I could go second. Somebody had already asked to go first. After walking from that bathroom in the other building to my car, I did notice that the snaps in the back of the pants I thought came undone, but they didn't. They just loosen as I walk. The pants just kind of sag, but they weren't going past the bottom of the skirt. But nobody's gonna be behind me, and maybe they'll see a little something and they'll be like, what the heck? But once the presentation gets on its way, it'll be like, oh, that's why that looked a little weird. So I'm not really worried about it. I say I'm not worried about it, but we all know how I really feel. Speaking of which, I think I need to stop talking to you and start talking to the Lord, so bye. My presentation was second, which I was very thankful for. The first presentation was about how walking stimulates creativity, which is great. What was not great is that that group had everybody in the class stand up and walk around during their presentation. I'm wearing all of these layers, so I was like trying not to walk funny. It ended up being fine, and I was wearing a big jacket, so you could not see the snaps in the back at that point. I did record my presentation, however, it's mainly audio because my phone camera was pointed up towards the ceiling. So here is the clip from that first quick change in the presentation. Or how does their outfit compare to those around them? Speaking of which, I feel like I'm a little bit overdressed for this today. I just got out of class. As you can see, I'm wearing the blue shirt, so that means that something went right. This is supposed to be a video about me making tearaway clothing, but really, I'm just really happy that we went out there and we did that. I was so anxious for this. Every time after I do a presentation, when it's done, I'm like, it was never really that serious. Yeah, speaking in front of people is not my favorite. Let me know if you can relate. But with all that said, I am very happy with how this project turned out. It was really fun to make. Thank you all for tagging along with me. It's been a really busy semester, so I'm sorry that I haven't been able to post that much, but I do have some fun plans for upcoming videos, so stay tuned.